friends. Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM. And also online at mykcr.org.
Central Hudson reminds you, when you're doing yard work, safety matters. If you use a ladder, be aware of overhead electric lines, including the service wire that runs to your house. Even wooden ladders can conduct electricity with dangerous results. And be very careful if there are electric lines above or near a swimming pool, and you're working with skimmers, brooms, or other long-handled tools. Central Hudson wishes you a safe summer.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Jackie Levezzo. I'm from Lake Katrine, and I support the Kingston Community Radio because it is an invaluable resource to the community and its residents.
This programming is brought to you by the Friends of Kevin Cahill. As a strong advocate of local broadcasting, Assemblymember Cahill urges you to support Kingston Community Radio with your time and donations. Your contributions keep KCR vital and on the air at FM 92.5, AM 920, and on the web at mykcr.org. Please join Assemblymember Cahill and send your gifts of $10, $25, or more to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. Together, let's keep KCR alive.
All right, we're on here. This is Thunder Thursday, baby. Flash.
Ba 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 boom!
Boom!
Yeah. I have to tell you the funniest
Scott
thing.
Harrington,
I actually had a dream last night that I woke up in the middle of our show, and I clearly fell asleep and everybody was gone.
You're by yourself.
Wow.
Well, that's a bad one.
And I went downstairs and you guys were so angry. You're like, we just stopped the show because you fell asleep.
We're joined with the guys in the house.
Yes.
Scott Harrington in the house.
Morning, and thank you for letting me be in studio, as they say.
I'm
So
glad
good
you're
to see you.
It's so great to see you. I mean, it was
Better seen than viewed, Tony.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
true. I like
Particularly
that.
at this age.
Oh, that's true. That's
Plus,
true.
I have the center seat on the TV.
You
Look
do,
at that, man.
I mean, you got that beautiful
Glad
face.
I wore a clean shirt. I'm sorry, my tan has faded a little bit. You know,
look
I've
great, though,
been
man.
up here for a week, so
Have you really?
came up for a 2-week visit. Yeah.
Good for you.
Nice.
What are you doing while you're here?
Maintenance.
Stuff.
Yesterday, I cleaned Aunt Donna's truck, which hasn't been touched since 1987.
Nice.
As far as being clean, I cleaned the grill because it hasn't been cleaned since I left 6 months ago, though they use it regularly. I had the dog shaved because he hasn't been shaved since
Wow. They missed you
last
all.
year. Yep, I'm maintenance. Every day is maintenance.
Does that job pay well, or?
Yes, yes. Yes, I get a pension, a wife and a pension
A wife and a
in 6 months, yeah.
Well, Yvonne, I'm sure is glad to see you. She hasn't seen you in a while.
You'll have to ask her.
Debatable. It's
Debatable, you know.
It's debatable.
All of a sudden, she's got to share everything, you know, the bed. She's got to share the bed. She can't sleep in the middle. The dog, who sleeps on my side now, is somewhat displaced. He doesn't know where to sleep because I'm in his spot.
That's hilarious.
No,
man.
I miss my family. I was glad
Chelsea.
to be here. It was Chelsea's birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday,
29
Chelsea.
years old, and we spent Father's Day together, which
All right,
was
so it's a
wonderful.
great week for you.
Good.
My
Great
son
week
is
for you.
visiting from New York
Growers up.
City for the week. Yep,
Good.
he's
Good,
working, but working from Aunt Diana's office, which
Yeah.
is always helpful.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
so
Life is good, huh?
I'm living my best life ever.
Good for you.
I couldn't be any
Yeah,
happier.
yeah,
Good,
good.
As soon as my wife gets there full time, she's going to
Yeah.
come. You know,
Right.
she comes back and forth every month. But
Right.
Now, is this her last year, or does she have one more year?
We had the meeting with the retirement board.
Yeah,
December the 23rd is her last day.
Okay, good. Nice Christmas present.
Nice Christmas present. We'll
that's
see if we can stick around till the 25th and then leave as soon as the presents are open. We're out, man. We're out.
Yeah. So Florida full time, more than likely.
No more than likely. Yes.
Likely, yes.
Not likely.
Yes.
Done.
Done.
Yes, yes.
Florida
Build a
full-time.
pool at the house at the moment. So
Good.
the nest is prepared.
Yeah,
And
good.
just love it there.
Good.
Good.
Good. St.
for you.
Augustine.
St. Augustine. You asked me what the biggest problem is
Yeah,
down there?
yeah.
Too many New Yorkers.
Let's keep them out.
Don't New York, my Florida.
That's it. That's the
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
T-shirt down there. Don't New York, my Florida.
Yeah.
It's a Christian conservative area. Love it. People are decent, polite.
Good.
It has the same problems every place else
Right,
has. There's
right,
crime, but not like you have here.
Yeah.
And there, people respect the police,
Right.
honor the police, and obey the police. And it's
Yeah.
just a very pleasant place to be.
Good. Good.
Started business. I sent the pictures of my fish up.
Yeah, we see those.
Love
We see those.
fishing.
Yeah.
Bad Andy and I bought a dock together.
Nice.
At a place called the Conch House Hotel and Marina Resort.
Nice.
That
which
sounds
is-
like a fun place to go.
You know what? It is a fun place to go.
That's very-
It's almost
Don't go
too
there.
fun.
Yeah.
It's almost too fun.
Good thing you have a boat there. You
Yeah,
gotta,
right, exactly.
But I have to walk past the tiki bar on my way to the parking lot when I leave.
Yes.
And it's like a magnet, man. It just
Pulls
pulls
you
you in for one more.
Try to
And
get out, but they
It's a
pull you
wonderful
back.
place.
Good.
Good. Well,
That's
we're
awesome.
happy for
Chuck, if you're listening, my fishing partner, Chuck,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
The man can catch fish.
Yeah.
The Blue Dolphin 3 is in
Right.
full operation.
Good.
Good.
All right,
So
thanks.
you take charters out. You take
Yes.
Great.
Take charters out, take friends out, take
Right.
ourselves out.
Right.
Good.
Whatever.
It's fishing in the morning, and then Bad Andy shows up around 4:35.
Andy. I want to
Andy.
meet
Oh, he's
Bad
great.
Andy.
Oh, he's the
guy.
best.
Yeah,
You come
good
down,
guy.
you'll meet Bad
Yeah,
Andy
yeah.
Yeah.
with a tumbler of bourbon. That's what he shows up with. And it's my job to keep.
How big is a tumbler?
It's this big, and it's my job to keep Coca-Cola on the boat. Although we don't drink Coca-Cola anymore because of their absurd social justice stand. So all
Right.
Coke products have
Done.
been removed from our life,
Good.
and we drink only Pepsi products
I like
now.
Pepsi anyway.
And that's not no bull crap there.
Yeah.
I've banned Coke products from the boat,
Good.
Good.
and so Bad Andy shows up with his tumbler of bourbon, and then we sit and cocktail and tell stories.
So
I
the
drink, of course, only iced tea.
Of course. The population down there is pretty decent. I mean, what's the population in St. A's?
Honestly, I don't know, but it's the fastest
100
growing county
100,000?
in Florida.
Is it 100,000, you think?
Yes. It's probably the greater, you have the city of St. Augustine,
yeah.
and then there's St. Augustine Beach right
Range going
outside.
out, right.
And then we live in an unincorporated part of St. Johns County, but it's right, 5 minutes from downtown St. Augustine. So I would say there's 100,000, and they can't, it's an island, they can't build any more on the island.
Oh,
Wow.
The island is full, which you know what that does to your property values.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go well.
Right up
Yeah.
they go.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And,
happening here, courtesy of the Brooklynites.
Yeah, don't
Company.
Brooklyn my Kingston.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm making
Val.
that
Don't
t-shirt.
bender my city.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
That too.
don't bender my city.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Yeah.
too.
So, yeah, I mean, things are pretty much status quo here. I'd say.
We're in a
We're just
time
kinda-
warp.
You know
Yeah.
what I was struck by?
Yeah.
The physical beauty of this area.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When
yeah,
I
yeah,
when
you
I
and were talking about
came
that.
back here,
Right.
I was only gone for 6 months, but probably the
Right.
longest
Right.
I've been gone. And it's summertime, and everything's in bloom, and the flowers, and the physical beauty of
this area.
until you hit Broadway.
Yeah.
But the physical beauty of the area, it struck me coming down the thruway, the mountains, just
It
gorgeous.
is.
Yeah.
It
I have to tell you, I because of the Rotary, I've been in eight counties. Our 8 counties, obviously including Ulster County. Last night we were down in Montgomery area, Walden area, and I never realized how big and open the spaces were down there. It's gorgeous. I mean, unfortunately, we got caught in the electrical storm, that lightning storm that we had.
Oh, did you really?
Oh my gosh, we were driving that. Leanne wanted to just jump under the seat, and she was like, But I was and Greene County and Columbia County. I mean, there's some stunning areas in the Hudson Valley. There really are.
You really are. You take them for granted. when you
Besides
don't
the
stop and-
Catskills and Adirondacks, this is the most beautiful part,
Absolutely.
and because you see them from here.
Oh yeah, no, it's just stunning. So hit me last night, I think. We were just coming back and driving, and it's like, oh my God, there's just beautiful farmlands, and, it's very cool.
And the access to the Hudson River, too.
Right.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Just cleaner now, cleaner.
Yeah,
and-
they're doing, the Hudson River's doing a lot better.
Gateway to the part of the Great Loop. Everyone,
Right,
I don't know if everyone knows that, but the only way to get to the Great Lakes from the Atlantic Ocean, other than the St. Lawrence Seaway, is via the Hudson River and the canal system that runs right through here.
Right.
My dad loves going through the canal.
Oh, they're beautiful. If you've not done that as a boater, you should, because it's spectacular. The engineering that 100+ years ago went to build these locks.
Right.
I think it's 13 locks to Lake Ontario. I'm sorry, to Lake Champlain. And I don't remember how many locks over to Lake Erie. But and the lock keepers keep them. They take pride in their appearance. They plant flowers, and it's just an incredible experience.
Yeah,
I think that's actually part of which is interesting. I think that's actually part of the Thruway Authority, isn't it?
It is now.
Yeah,
No kidding.
which is interesting.
Oh, I didn't
They
realize
maintain that.
Yeah.
It is fascinating.
Isn't it?
It really
You
is.
go there and you're at whatever level in the water, and you're on your way up, and you have to wait for a number of boats. They do it in a proper fashion, and then they open the gate. These huge iron gates open up, and you move your boat inside this box where you look up, and it's these giant walls. And you have to hang on to the wall because they close those gates and say, everybody ready.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, this upwelling of water comes.
How cool is
and just
that?
lifts everybody up to the next level. Open the big iron gates at the other end, and off you go.
That
Yeah.
technology.
It takes about 20 or 30 minutes to go through each lock, but very fascinating.
And that's been around for, I don't want to say 100 years, but it's probably, maybe it has been, the lock system, right? Because the D&H
I think
Canal.
it's more than 100 years.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
D&H Canal locks were before,
Yes.
The-
yes.
the-
Real technology.
well, no, before the Hudson River lock system was built. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was way back.
The
when.
D&H Canal locks were built in order to move anthracite coal, discovered in Pennsylvania. Prior to,
Interesting.
which I believe is hard.
Smarter in Florida, dude.
Everyone's smarter there,
Usually
Tony.
the sun just fries your brain
yeah,
down
right.
there,
He got
but
smarter.
The vodka that fries your brain, but everyone in Florida is smarter and better looking,
Right.
just so you know. And that was the way.
right.
I forgot, and happier.
Oh,
And they had to move the anthracite coal from Pennsylvania to the Hudson River to get it on ships to bring it to England, because it's hard coal rather than the soft coal that they had burned previously, much more efficient. And so that canal system was built to move the barges towed by pack animals, mules, down from Pennsylvania to the port of Rondout, where they were where it was loaded on barges and then shipped to England. There's your little
Very
history lesson.
interesting.
Yeah, not really, but that's
No, that's cool stuff.
look, she fell asleep.
It was foreshadowing.
Oh, so employment, curious down in Florida. Up here, it's just you can't find people to work. I mean, it's just
Sad.
horrible. You know this story maybe from Chelsea.
Sadly, I do.
I
Yeah.
know. It's just
3 out of 5 staff members showed up yesterday. In fact, she called Norman Staffing.
I know she
Yeah.
did. I know, and we thought we had somebody lined up, and then I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the end of that story was, but but it's a crisis, and I'm just blown away. I mean, your business, Errol, has steady staff. You never have turnover. You're blessed, and and there's a reason for that, obviously. Most of the other places,
Good management is the reason.
good management, treating the people well. Oh, God
Correct.
forbid. It's just a crisis. We have 70 jobs we can't fill. 70. And we're a small little dinky staffing company.
If you'll humor me,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not that you can't fill it. It's that our absurd federal government
Yeah,
is
yeah.
insisting on paying people to stay home
Right.
when the workforce needs them.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it should be stopped.
But human nature is, if you'll pay me $300 extra a
Right.
week to stay home, why would I go and labor for
Right,
that?
right. But I'm
Our
curious.
fine governor in Florida, Ron DeSantis,
He took
who we're so sorry is probably going to leave and become the president, which we don't want that to happen in Florida. Nobody wants him to leave. Stopped that extra So we're having the same challenges, but that is going to be solved.
Better.
Well,
It's
not
getting-
solved, but
it's
will
gonna
be
get
improved.
Right,
better.
right. It's just bizarre. So, and I feel like first world problems. So I'm not complaining, but
Yeah.
I feel like as we come out of post-COVID, it's there's just so many things that are weird. So 2 days ago, I was calling. I had to book a flight, and it was one of those things where I had credit, and I really couldn't do it online. So I called the airline, and there's a 3-hour wait. So, and which I had planned for. So I called first thing in the morning, and they tell me your wait is over 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I'm going about my business, doing my stuff, and all of a sudden I get disconnected after 3 hours. I have 3 hours invested.
That's the game.
So listen. So now I call back. The wait is over 9 hours.
What?
I get the recording.
Oh my gosh.
Now, my question is, are there so many people traveling right now that there's a 9-hour wait? I think
No.
it's that they don't have
whole
people
world
to
is
answer
screwed
the
up.
phones.
It's why American Airlines canceled a third of their flights last week. They don't have pilots. They don't have maintenance staff.
Where is everybody?
Where are they? They're home collecting free money from the third world government that is in charge right now,
Right.
as opposed to your first world comment. We are being run like a third world country. It's sad, tragic to me, tragic. We've lost the America that I grew up in. We lost the America that my grandfather told me about. The dream of the people who came here on ships from Europe to a new free nation where your own hard work, determination, and self-reliance would bring you success. And it worked. And we saved the world twice
Yep.
in war. And we are now, I wouldn't visit here from Europe if I watched the news from Europe. How many murders, shootings, mayhem,
Yeah, violence has gotten out of control.
violent. We used to poo-poo Mexico. Oh, we can't go on vacation in Mexico.
Dangerous.
Look at the shootouts down. Well, I don't know why the people from Mexico are coming here. Their country is safer.
One of our Rotarian friends went down to the city just this last weekend and was just appalled by what's going on down there. I mean, there's just
New York City is really
Every city,
Hurt.
and if I could make a police
Yeah.
comment, you have no idea how bad it's going to get because the good, let me phrase this correctly. The senior
right.
level of police experience in this country
Vamonos.
are saying goodbye
Yeah.
and leaving it to new young men and women who are valiantly taking this job. God bless them.
The experience is not
But no political leaders have the stones to stand behind them.
Yeah.
The cancel culture, the public or social media
Yeah.
nonsense that we've allowed to take over. So they're not coming.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I know.
Yeah,
It's going to be hard. I know out west, in Washington, they're actually, I think there's like a huge sign-on bonus for police officers,
Oh, yeah.
and they're
Sign-on
offering
bonuses
them
everywhere.
all this
Everywhere.
money because they need more police officers and they can't get them.
Gee, I wonder why. Could it have been the defund the police movement? Could that be why? Now this idiot in Washington goes on TV yesterday and says, well, we're going to use COVID money to hire more police. Wait a minute. A month ago, I watched you say police are bad. First yellow man bad, now blue man bad. We're all bad.
Yeah. No, it's a crazy
It's-
time.
Like I say, the
Orange
pendulum
man.
always swings one way.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's continuing to swing that way. I think it's just going to fall off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the next
We're on the brink of a
5
civil
years
war.
to 10 years is going to really be telling. If and it's all over the country. I mean, Kingston is a little microcosm of what's going on. It's not just here; it's all over the place.
Right.
But if we don't get back to some center, common sense approach to how this world should be operated, there's just going to be, I don't know, chaos. I feel for my
So unsettled.
4-year-old grandson and 2-year-old granddaughter. I'm saying, oh my God.
What are we leaving you?
Yeah,
What have we done?
exactly. I have no,
We found out, unfortunately, if you do any independent research into the history of COVID and what's been
Right.
going on, that the government has lied to us continually
Right
for
on through.
some period of time to their own to protect themselves. You know, I don't know what benefit they derive. They derive the benefit of staying in power.
Yeah.
And that seems
Right.
to be the only goal of
Maybe
government
some
right
money-
now.
Maybe some money
Yeah.
out of it, under the table
But
money.
the goal is to stay in power and to control us.
Right.
And we, like sheep, listened because we're Americans. We want to do the right thing. We've always done the right thing. So when they arbitrarily chose businesses to close, you close, Walmart, you open. Amazon, you're good.
Right.
Mom and Pop Deli, no, you got to close.
Lowe's.
Instead of rising up,
How about the local barber? Let's talk about that.
my man Joe LaLima,
Yeah.
what a tragedy and a
yeah.
travesty of justice. Why isn't there a demonstration in front of his place? I'm sorry, go ahead, talk about it.
No, so
Took his license last week.
took his
it's
license
terrible.
last week
He
for.
cut hair during COVID when he wasn't supposed to be cutting hair.
Yeah,
That's
well-
why they took his license.
Well, there's probably a
he
billion
was,
people.
he was not,
that did that.
and
he
maybe
was cutting hair on
Okay.
Broadway.
Who are
and
they to tell him he can't cut hair?
No, well,
He
let-
wasn't supposed
well-
to be cutting hair during
Wow.
COVID.
Well,
According to whom?
Let me interject. He was cutting hair of police officers who were essential workers, who I believe. You tell me. I mean, there was a lot of the COVID hairdo going on during that time. Where, I mean, don't you have to be
Not for me,
clean?
but-
No, but don't you? Don't you? I know troopers have to be clean shaven, right?
Police
I mean,
officers should be
you-
clean shaven.
Right,
Yes,
right.
yeah, there are regulations. but-
Now, and I haven't. I'm just going off of what my husband told me. I believe he also wasn't taking money for the haircuts. Is that true?
I don't know whether that's true or not. To me, it's irrelevant.
You know what,
The
there's-
government has no right to
there's a
tell
lot of
what business to open and what business to close. There is no authority given to the government to do that, except
They were-
that as sheep, we followed along and listened. Found out, now, gosh, most of the stuff they told us to do was unnecessary, and most of the things that they preached were lies. So it was all for naught.
I mean,
We
but-
closed down an economy. We
Right.
closed down the biggest economy in the world.
Right.
And we didn't need to, but,
Still, yeah, it's
that's
it's
an
struggling.
opinion, that's not a fact, that's an opinion of mine, but.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe, 6 more months, people are going to, hopefully when the unemployment ends in September, right, people are going to start coming back to work. School's back in, so that was a big issue as well, childcare. And the other thing that's come out of this is people are finding remote work, more attractive. Now, you can't remote work.
A haircut.
A haircut.
Yeah.
A nursing home, a hospital. You can't remote a lot of stuff.
Right.
So in my mind, if you want to stay home and work, you should get paid less because you're not commuting. You're not, what are you doing? You're in your yoga pants all day, or your jeans, or your pajamas.
Bonbons.
We hope you're wearing pants.
Right. So
Jeffrey Toobin.
Well, what's going to happen to all the real estate, especially in New York City? There's going
Yeah.
to be a lot
ton of
open-
extras,
right. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out if, like you're saying,
Yeah.
is our business owners going to say, okay, July 1st, you're either coming back to the office or you don't have a job.
right.
Or
CEO of one of the major investment companies did that last week.
I did hear, and that's where I had heard that, and that's why. Or some business owners may say, you know what, I'm saving a lot of money on rent, and so, I want everybody to stay home. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out and which direction people go in.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting. But if people don't come back to work, the economy can't get going. I mean,
No.
it's just,
I can't believe we haven't collapsed yet.
we get 2, 3, 4
I feel
calls
like
a week.
I feel like we're propped up.
We're propped up because the government is printing money
Right.
and handing it out, and that is unsustainable.
Yeah.
Inflation.
That's why I go to the grocery store every week and
inflation
spend
is out of
$340 and come home and say, what
two-
the hell did I
Two
just
bags.
buy?
I got 2 bags of groceries.
Like-
Yeah.
For
yeah.
$300.
Like the next day, my kids are like, "What are we eating?" I'm like, "I just spent $340."
Mud. Go make some mud. Yeah.
All right, we got a phone call, folks. Let's take it. Good morning. You're on Thunder Thursday. What's your comment or question?
Well, my comments are the unknown stranger embraced his family.
Dr. Paul.
Dr. Paul. Good morning, Dr. Paul.
I miss you, but, the unknown stranger embraced his family. The soldier in the foxhole called my brother. The orphan lost became my sister. The unwanted infant saved by adoption. This is who we are as a nation based on love. It is time for we the people to demand that this become the core of our school curriculums and government principles, and fight against programs of dividing and division, such as the critical race and
Agreed.
those that oppose the law.
Transgender nonsense.
Yeah.
And so that it's up to us, the people, and we're seeing it finally. Parents are paying attention to what's going on in the schools. We have to challenge our governments, people. We have to challenge our school authorities, and we have to challenge our teachers' unions. It is the future of this nation and the future of generations that we have fought and worked so hard to establish the greatest nation the world has ever seen, and we're losing it because silence has become assent. We got to stop it. We see parents rising up and saying, no, we're not going to take it anymore. And this is what we have to start fighting for. Fight our media, fight our governments, and hold them accountable for what they are creating in terms of the conditions and the attitudes in our society.
Amen.
We are all children of God, and we are, as his children, we are responsible for enacting the law of love in our lives, but also in our systems. And it's up to us, and we can do it. We have that power. Stop being silent, start standing up, start speaking out, and start organizing to say, no, we're taking back our schools and we're taking back our nation.
I got to say this, Dr. Paul, and this is shameless self-promotion for KCR, but this is the last bastion of truth on the air.
Absolutely.
This
programs
this
that the people
little
can speak out
local
on.
radio station is the only place you can say that, Dr. Paul.
Right.
The only place I can say, give my opinion.
The newspapers no longer will accept a lot of things.
No.
And we have us, media in terms of
Try saying that on Radio
various
Kingston.
programs. They're
Not
blocking a
happening.
lot of the, kinds of, not attacks, but the people that are speaking out against what is happening in this country. And so that people become a little,
Medical
frightened or
doctors
lazy.
who
And you
disagree
can't.
with
We
the
have to have the
government.
courage to stand up to those forces that are just trying to destroy our nation.
Yeah, absolutely true. And I think we're at a crossroads. I mean, this is
Yep.
it. This is it. I mean, in the next 5 years or so will determine whether we're going up or down. Really, I mean, I kind of feel that. It's just there's breakdowns all over the place. So
There are, but we got to just look around us. Look at all the wonderful things in our community, the people helping strangers, helping others, forming food pantries, and going and
Clothing,
bringing food to the neighbor who's
coat
either
drives.
elderly or, poor. I mean, all the wonderful, wonderful things that are established in this country, we're human beings, we're imperfect, and they were terrible things that happened. People suffered, immigrants suffered, certainly those who were enslaved suffer, the ones who are being enslaved now, especially in terms of the sex trafficking that's ignored completely. But, I mean, all these things need to be addressed and go back and say, no, who are we? But we got to teach that in our schools.
Right.
Go back to the Pledge of Allegiance. Go back to the singing of, when we were young, we were in school, that was the thing that we did, the first thing in the morning. We got the programs, we got to teach kids what it means to be human, and that's loving and helping your neighbor and standing up for the things that are right and good. And we can do it, but we have to have the courage, and we got to start acting and start collecting together our various energies, and then just going after the nonsense that's trying to destroy our people and trying to destroy our country.
Agreed.
As a parent of children in our school districts, I could not agree more. It's extremely concerning, some of the things that are going on in our local schools.
Yeah, and just hold them accountable. And we got to also start saying, okay, if you are so well entrenched, then recognize what is public education. Public education is that systems which educate our children. Start calling it government schools. Start accepting the fact that public education consists of government schools, private schools, parochial schools, charter schools, and homeschooling. That's the whole kind of programs that are out there, and we have just surrendered, and our teachers' unions are responsible, and I'm a member of a teachers' union, and I support it fully, except that they are the ones that are building up this, the nonsense of the, critical race theory and other things, and demanding that be what our kids are taught. No, teach them about love. Teach
You know,
them
for,
about, treasuring each other. There are systems, there are programs that they can do that and start from the earliest grade.
For decades, we have allowed the teachers union to elect school board members. That's not their fault, by the way. That's our
it
fault.
isn't. It's because the
It's
people are
our
allowed to
fault.
vote.
You get 3,000 people that vote in a 100,000 member district for school board members. Those 3,000 are teachers. Members of the teachers union. They elect their own leaders. And that's because we don't go out.
System. Go look and, as you go walking through the stores or in the streets, see the tremendous amount of love that is being expressed regularly by young parents and young, with their little children. It just, brings tears to my eyes when I see that. And I say that is where the reality is of who we are and what we have to preserve. Okay. People need to become aware of what is taking place and say, no, we're not going to take it.
Dr. Paul, we need to get moving on. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Keep up the great work. And welcome back. It's good to see that special man's voice.
Thank you, Doctor. I am not back. I am only visiting. And come by and visit me in sunny, happy, successful, wide-open, COVID-free, good-looking Florida.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Scott Harrington. Thank you, Dr. Paul. Lawrence, take us to break.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Swimming pools are great for family fun, and Central Hudson wants you to play it safe. Never operate an electric appliance next to or in the pool. Be sure pool motors and filters are grounded. Have them installed by a professional and serviced by a licensed professional electrician. Be very careful if there are electric lines above or near a pool, especially if using long-handled cleaning tools. And if a storm is nearby, get out of the water. Your safety matters.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Screening exams for breast, lung, or colorectal cancers are necessary to detect and treat disease at its earliest, most curable stage. But you may have some concerns and questions. Answer your questions and ease your fears by visiting radiologyinfo.org. In addition to information on screening and wellness, you'll find more than 200 descriptions of radiologic exams, procedures, and treatments to help you prepare. Get informed and be prepared. Visit radiologyinfo.org, produced by the Radiological Society of North America and the American College of Radiology.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the First Savings Bank in Ulster County that still remains local to this day. Ulster Savings Bank, a community bank that's invested in local business, invested in community, invested in you. Ulster Savings Bank, your one-stop resource for everything local. Locations throughout the Hudson Valley and online at ulstersavings.com. Member FDIC.
Okay, we're back. It's the 7:30 hour. We have Terry Dwyer from Coach House Players. Val, you want to introduce our two new guests?
Sure. Welcome back. We have, while we were on the break, we have Terry Dwyer and Sue Regan in the studio. Terry Dwyer is actually my mother-in-law, so this is a
happy day.
very special guest. So they're here. The show must go on, right?
Absolutely. We're back.
We're here to talk about Coach House Players.
As we sing, Yahoo! The first song is Celebration. You know,
Good.
the one we always dance to.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that reminds me of going to weddings.
And
That
the
song.
Benny Ball.
And the Benny Ball. Yeah, I missed the Benny Ball. So you guys are in the studio. We've been talking about this for a while. I know you guys were trying to figure out with the pandemic of how you guys were going to get back up and running with, all the regulations that surround COVID. So very exciting news that you have a show coming up. So tell us a little bit
Absolutely.
about it. When is it? What is it? And all that good stuff.
So we open July 10, and we run for that weekend, July 10 and 11, and the 17th and the 18th. Matinee performances only because we started out that way, and we didn't want to disrupt any of the cast schedules. They made plans. So we're sticking to a 2 p.m. matinee. We were first going to do it outside.
That would have been cool.
Well, not if it rains and you got stuck in a thunderstorm and your wife is hiding under the seat.
Not if you're the stage crew.
Yeah, not if you're stage crew, right? You got a mess.
Which we won't really have.
But on a nice sunny day, it is cool.
Right.
But it was too sunny. I mean, we looked at the parking lot, and there was no shade.
Yeah.
So we, our hearts went out to the cast crew and audience members, and then once the restrictions started being lifted, we said,
Right.
hey, if we have a fully vaccinated cast and crew, then we'll do a fully vaccinated
Right.
audience show.
Right. Good.
So that's what
What's
we're
the
doing.
show again? What are you doing? What's the?
It's a variety show.
Oh, variety show. Oh, cool.
So there's singing, there's comedy, there's
Nice.
a little bit of movement.
Okay.
There's comedic singing. It all depends on,
Yeah.
how
Your
we
style,
feel.
I guess, huh?
Something like that.
Yeah.
We have a segment called Bad Jokes.
Okay. Bad jokes are good.
You know, the ones you go, ah.
Yeah, really. But and the dates again?
July 10, 11,
Okay.
17, 18.
Coming up.
Yeah, coming up.
So I guess we jumped right into what's about this, but let's kind of go back and talk about the history of Coach
Yeah.
House. And I know because you're my mother-in-law, that has been around for a very long time.
Yes.
And I think within the last 10 years you moved into the new building. And so just kind of talk to us a little bit about the history and how it's
Coach House,
transformed.
the Coach House building was built in the 1800s, and it was part of the Samuel D. Kirkendall estate, and housed its horses and carriages. Thus the name Coach House. Coach House started as a small group. They originally were.
When did they start?
1950?
Well, when we got to Augusta Street.
Yeah.
But prior to that, they were in the Governor Clinton Hotel.
Oh, no
They were-
kidding.
And typical of theater people, there was a little dissension amongst the groups. And
Oh.
yeah.
So
dramatic.
Can't believe it.
Artistic
Yeah.
people. And they broke off, and 12 people started Coach House and were able to purchase the building with help from an angel, they called her. And so that was 1950 when Coach House actually moved to 12 Augusta Street inside the Kirkendall building. And in 2000, in 1990s, in the late 1990s, we were having trouble securing the schools for
Plays and.
yeah. And they couldn't give us the same dates as they had previously because the schools were being utilized more by the students in the schools themselves. So one time we were putting on a show at Bailey, and the next time we were putting on a show at GW, and the next time we were back to Bailey, and then we were down at Kingston High School. So we were jumping all over the
Bouncing
map.
around, right.
And we actually, believe it or not, started looking to sell the building and purchase a new building. And then we said, how stupid are we? We've got this gorgeous building. Let's just renovate it. And that's what we did. In 2000, we started renovating.
Have you
So-
been there, Tony?
I think I was there a long time ago when I was at the hospital. It's been years, I think, though. Years.
Really,
Cool
really
inside,
a
right?
cool place.
Yeah.
And they've done such a great job. It's very intimate
Right.
theater.
Yeah.
It's really,
What
really
is?
cool.
How many seats?
99. 99, but we are also sometimes restricted by the royalties. Sometimes we can
Right.
only have 80 some, depending on the show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Oy.
we have legal ties to the royalties, so and we don't want to take chances because someone could be lurking and.
Oh,
shut
yeah,
us
they
down.
send people out.
I was going to say.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes,
Undercover.
I mean, they have people who check advertising to see if anybody's doing a show that they haven't been licensed for, and they send people out to count bodies and all that kind of
the
stuff. Oh,
wording-
yeah.
The wording has to be just so and you have to give credit to the playwrights and the et cetera.
Font has to be a certain size. The playwright has to be bigger than the director. It has to. It's a nightmare.
Wow.
So this is your first production since the pandemic, obviously?
It is.
Back to
It is.
2019, I would guess, or?
Yes.
We were 2 weeks away from opening our first show in 2020 when the hammer came down.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that show is actually going to be our second show, our last show of the season, which will go up in November. Excuse me.
That's an Agatha Christie murder mystery called Night Watch.
That's going to be coming in November.
In November.
Okay. Okay.
You're actually even going to see part of that set, excuse me, because we just didn't pull it down. We just left the bare wall, the minimum of the walls up to put up our little thing for this show. And
So that was the show that you were supposed to do before the pandemic. So you're going to just you're going to do that show. And
It was scheduled for April of 2020.
Okay.
So it was fully cast. It was fully rehearsed. The set was set, ready to go, and everything got shut down. So
It's like studying for a test that gets canceled, and then you got to pick up and study again. I mean, that's the
And
worst.
then our leading man moved to Florida, and so we've had to cast Peter Pius.
yeah, he was originally a Dutchess County resident.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've had to recast, to the best of my knowledge, 2 parts.
Okay.
But that's all done, and they're going to start working again on a normal rehearsal schedule in September.
How is it getting folks to either act or perform, whatever you call it? Is it difficult or these days, or people
To
around?
get men, it is.
To get men, it's
Yeah.
always difficult. It's been that. When I first joined in 1950, there were a slew of men because we had IBM.
Yeah.
And we did South Pacific, and
Right.
all the sailors.
Yeah.
We had a whole
Was John
line.
McCullough ever involved in that? John, did you know John McCullough?
I sang with John.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
No, he was not involved. He was
wasn't in
mostly
Coach House. Just-
Kiwanis.
Oh, Kiwanis. Yeah.
Kiwanis. Yeah.
He's a great guy.
No, so we had a slew of men, and they were talented. And little by little, this one got transferred to North Carolina, this one got transferred here and there and everywhere, and then slowly but surely IBM started closing down. And
And there are a lot more theater companies around, community theater
Yeah,
companies, so it
yeah.
kind of dilutes the pool,
Yeah.
the talent pool. But we have some very fine people, and we have, for the variety show, we have kind of a core group of folks that
it.
come back. Terry, you've been in every one, right?
just
Except
about
for one, 2014.
probably one, yeah.
And I came back in 2013, and I've been in every one except 2019. So it's a nice, because then you don't have to, these are people who are experienced with our particular setup with how we do this show. And like, for instance, for this particular show, we weren't sure when we were going to be able to actually get in the building and be together to rehearse. So because I decided to be the assistant director with Barbara, we got together very early. We figured out who we sent out emails who wants to be in it, and then we figured out a list of songs that we wanted to do, and started working early on creating the script and then assigning the songs to the particular performer, sending them MP3s or the sheet music, and just said, you know what to do. Rehearse at home, and come in, and we'll do it. We came in Tuesday night for our first rehearsal, and the soloists were singing, and we just started blocking the movements, and
Riding horse again.
it is. It really is. Thank God for, and everybody's done it before, so it's not their first rodeo. And
Well, you can ask Val. I used to take my script
On
with
the
me
Cape.
to Cape.
Yes,
I'm
you
sitting
did.
at the beach. I'm sitting at the beach and
Absolutely.
a liquid to wet my whistle, and I had proof because one year a seagull flew overhead and left a nice little deposit on my script.
Yes.
And I'm wiping it off and I wiped a hole right through the.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
Oh, what you don't do.
So you're a not-for-profit, right?
Not-for-profit.
Organization, and you exist by donations as well as people coming to your shows.
Right. The reservations. We have season ticket holders, which
great.
they get a reduced
Right.
price if they commit to 3. We do 4 shows a year. But the annual variety show is a fundraiser, so that's not included in your season ticket
Gotcha.
price. But the 3 shows are. And we're very proud to say that we do award 2 scholarships to high school students.
Nice.
Every year, even when we're down to bare bones,
Yeah.
as they say, to students who are furthering their education in the field of the performing arts, whether
Great.
it be instrumental, whether it be acting, whether it be
Sure.
singing or
Great.
dancing. And we've had Saugerties, we've had Rosendale, Coleman, Kingston,
Roundout, I think.
and
Yeah,
Roundout. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Throughout the
Maria
years.
Hoban is coming in, I think, at 8:30. She works at Ulster Federal Credit Union, and her 2 children are amazing performers,
Yes,
right?
they are.
Andrew and
Andrew and
Olivia.
his sister, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
big-time performers.
As a matter of fact, we've had a couple of recipients come back to Coach House and
That's great.
and help us out.
Yeah.
And be on stage or help, like
Yeah.
Rachel, one of our former members, she moved to Florida. I don't know what it is about Florida.
Well, ask Scott Harrington. Better looking.
He'll tell you.
Tanner, they're happier.
It's warmer.
It's nirvana there.
Yeah, it's like utopia.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, Rachel is still a member of the company, and what she does is I guess you call it musical consultation. For instance, I the song that I'm singing, the MP3 we had was about a step too high for me. I am not Dionne Warwick in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And so we just sent that down to her, and she has the programs in her computer that she
or
could
something,
switch the key. Bango,
Wow,
it's perfect.
that's
She can
amazing.
It is.
she can take a piece of sheet music, and the next
Yeah.
thing you know, you've got an MP3 of the song, or she can change tempo. She can do, and she does. And then boom, the next day it comes up on the computer, and you've got yourself music that you can deal with, which is
So
lovely.
we're singing mostly to karaoke, but we do have Sue, Bob Jones, and his grandson Coy playing guitar, and sometimes
some-
Bob plays the banjo.
Yep. Yep.
Very good, very good.
So
Now, what are your limitations as far as can you go full? I guess you can go full capacity now with Cuomo lifting everything,
Yes.
right? That's great.
but
That is great.
we are requiring proof of vaccination.
Vaccination. Good.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
So just mention the show again, dates, type of show.
It's our annual variety show, Friends and Family. We need them now more than ever. The dates are July 10th and 11th and 17th and 18th. 2 p.m. curtain only for all 4 performances. That gives the cast plenty of time to go out and party afterwards. So much better than an evening performance.
And get a good night's sleep in the morning,
Yeah.
right?
Wake up.
Well,
and do it
okay.
again.
Right.
All one more time with feeling. So really only winds up being 1 extra performance. Normally we would have done a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but everything else withstanding, trying to get it done. It's easier this way.
Right at your building at
Yes.
12 Augusta Street.
That is correct. Yep.
And tell us how people can get tickets.
Well, there's 2 ways you can call, and I'm going to grab this because I never remember the phone number. Because who calls?
845-331-2476.
There you go. I never
Perfect.
call it. It's like
Perfect.
remembering my home phone number. Or you can go to our website, www.coachhouseplayers.org. That's one word, all lowercase, and there is a reservation form that you can fill out there. And cash, check, credit card.
Yes.
Yay.
Good.
Yes, and
speed.
we're up to speed, thank goodness. And there will be minimal refreshments. We don't we're water and some packaged cookies and things like that. But
We normally bake, but given the circumstances, we're not doing that. It's packaged.
Now, the schools didn't have performances this year, or if they did, it was virtual, right, I guess?
So tell
Yes,
us your granddaughter, my niece,
yes.
just
She's a 7th grade student at Miller, and they did the High School Musical Junior.
Yeah.
And it was done very well, again, given the circumstances.
Right.
everything was filmed at the school. And we got to see it virtual.
Right.
So
they
last
recorded.
Weekend. They recorded the music, they recorded the dialogue and everything. And last weekend there was a Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon.
Oh, nice.
And you had to go to a link,
right,
and stream it. And
so they recorded the performance. The kids were performing.
They were all over the school. They were in the cafeteria. They were in the auditorium.
So not all on the stage at the same
time.
time.
No, they weren't all on the
separate places.
They were on some scenes took place on the stage, and some took.
Okay.
And
bit
she
of
was
coordination.
Oh, she was adorable as a cheerleader.
So you said that, because I remember you saying it was. You said, "Oh, I can't watch it Friday night. I'm going to watch it Saturday night." So, but wasn't it pre-recorded? Couldn't you watch it at any time, or was it actually?
No, you had to buy tickets for that actual performance.
But they didn't live perform it each time.
No,
they only
no.
recorded it once. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That kind of makes sense because they probably don't want people. Oh, well, I can buy it at any time.
Right.
It's kind of like it ties you into. It's more like a performance. I'm going to sit down and watch this at 8 o'clock on Saturday night, or yeah.
But at least you can do it in your jammies and with your
right.
bowl of popcorn.
Maybe you're dressed. Maybe you're not.
Maybe
It's a
you're
big
not.
mystery.
It's a whole, we don't want to know, quite honestly.
We don't want to know.
Oh, yeah.
I won't tell you how many Zoom meetings I've done in my bathrobe. I'm just saying.
Now, Kingston Catholic, I think, did something. Somebody did Fame. I kind of lost track of
Same
who was
format.
doing it. Same type of.
Well, they're doing that up now in Woodstock because David is in it.
Yes.
David is one of our directors and company members, and he's in Fame up there right now.
Yeah, so I would think the schools, starting September, hopefully will be back in, full session. Keep our fingers crossed there, and then things will return to normal. And typically the shows are in the springtime when the schools do it. When does
April, right?
Yeah, it's usually
March, April.
Although Miller does theirs, they did theirs in November.
In the fall, yeah.
In the fall.
Yeah, so that's good. So I mean, that's important that we keep that going, right? Theater in the schools and
You have to keep the arts alive.
Exactly. The colleges too.
Do you get a lot of, like, when you need children in your performances, do you utilize, kind of go to the high school drama clubs, or how do you recruit?
You just put out an all points bulletin of
casting
auditions.
call, a very wide
auditions,
casting call.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you don't get the people, I know somebody. I know somebody.
Yeah.
I know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do a lot of children. However, we did have to have General Tom Thumlin. We did Barnum, and I believe the director knew somebody from across the river, and their son came in and did that. But normally, we really don't have a lot of young roles.
When I first joined, we had a slew of kids in The King and I. Oh my gosh, Sound of Music, and kids pull in.
They do.
The audience.
Yeah.
You got your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, uncles, cousins, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, everybody wants to see the kids.
But we have tight quarters. I mean, we have the theater room, the performance room, and then our shop room, which has become our costume room, and we're tight back there, and so we do what we can.
Now, the other thing that I've found interesting and really is a growing industry here, and I think I know it was in the paper about Tech City. They're looking to bring in some more film. And
Yeah.
Is there's a huge presence, and I know you're not on Facebook, Mom T, but I'm not sure if you are. But
I am.
There's Hudson Valley Film.
Yes.
And they're constantly looking for people for this role or that role, or I want to use your house, or I want to use your car. Do have you seen a lot of Coach House players get involved with the local filming?
I've gone to auditions myself that way.
Yeah. It's really interesting that it's it's an industry that brings in
for all the crafts and the technical
they're using,
and
the hotels, they're eating in the restaurants.
It's
It really brings in a lot of spending power to some of the local businesses. So
and there are a lot of professional actors who live in the area. It's amazing how more and more that you're seeing. So that's good. Now that I'm retired, maybe I can start doing that.
There you go.
Money.
Hey, I'll take it, whatever I can
Oh,
get.
sometimes they don't pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends.
Walk on. What about Kiwanis Capers? Do you see that coming back this
Yes,
year?
it is.
Hopefully, keep our
Actually,
fingers crossed.
Steve Klein is the director. Well, he was the director last year and rolled over to this year. He sent out a script last year. And then, of course, they kept hoping and hoping and hoping. And then they finally said, hey, they saw the writing on the wall. And so what they did last year, because they have a huge scholarship program.
Oh, yeah.
And they needed, the
Right.
money for that. So he put out a request if you had any VHS tapes or DVDs of former shows that he directed, and he listed them. Please give them. And he melted
Oh, no kidding.
certain segments, and it was shown at Tech City
Oh,
up on the
nice.
screen. So it brought in
Oh, cool.
some.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
great. It
it's
was a beautiful night in October. I said,
Yeah.
October, Steve, you're going to have cold weather on your hands. But it turned out to be a very
Yeah.
gorgeous night. You sat in the car. The windows were rolled down. I mean, it was
Yeah.
very comfortable to watch, and it was funny because he picked the funniest, what he considered the funniest scenes from
Over the
several
years.
of those.
Yeah.
Of those, but he just sent out an email saying, "Get ready,
Going live.
get ready,"
Yeah.
because
Good.
he
Good.
had to make a few cast changes for various reasons. But basically, are you still willing to do your part?
Right.
Let me know if you can't.
So, do they know where they're going to be held? Are they
That
allowed to
was
be
the
held?
question, because last year it was supposed to go from Valley School to Kingston High School. So now
Okay.
we're not sure.
Okay.
The
One of those
venue.
two.
But
Yeah.
he's got a show. It's all written and ready to go, cast.
Does it have anything to do with the roundabout or all the cones?
Yeah.
Well,
could just
Tony,
I
you-
could just see
traffic
something.
control.
You know somebody's going to throw something in
I know
about
that.
it.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, yes.
I'm still going around in the circle.
Right, exactly.
I lost my way. I can just hear it now.
Oh yeah. There's plenty of material.
Oh, yes.
Plenty of material. out
material.
there.
Broadway, everything.
That's just such a special. There's a lot of special things about our community, but that
Yeah.
show is just really special.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
mean,
super unique.
when you see it is, and when you see some of the local, like I always think about Jimmy Satile dressing up
Oh,
as a
yeah.
woman,
Oh,
or
yeah.
it's really funny.
Yeah.
Do you remember the segment where it was Kevin Quilty, young
Jim
Jimmy
Thompson?
Gilpatrick? No, Kevin Quilty, young Jimmy Gilpatrick, and Alan
DeForest? No.
DeForest.
Al DeForest. Okay.
When they dressed up as the Pointer Sisters,
Oh.
and they did Jump with their little teddies on and everything. Oh God,
Oh,
it was
Lord.
hysterical.
Yeah. No, there's some great moments there. Let's talk about Coach House again. We only got a few
Okay.
minutes left in this half-hour segment, and talk about the
Plug it.
Plug it,
Plug it.
kid.
Plug it.
Plug
Plug it away.
Plug it away.
Well, we have a ton of songs, a lot of songs,
Skits.
and
One skit, I believe. Jim is. We have a cast member. God love him. Whose comedic talents are amazing, and he always comes in with some kind of skit or a peculiar joke. We were in the middle of bad jokes one year, and he whispered in my ear during the intermission, "Sue, just when you get to this point, just do this and just follow my lead." Okay, whatever. He comes on stage, he's got a turban and a thing, and it's Karnak the Magnificent,
Yeah.
Or you'll be dancing on stage and he'll whisper in your ear, "Just follow me." I'm like, oh.
Creative guy.
Can I not dance with Jim this year?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
But he's brilliant. He's always got something. I'm not even sure what the skit is because
I
we
have
haven't
no idea.
seen
We
it
haven't
yet.
seen it.
We literally
It's
just
under wraps.
Yeah, we just started rehearsing Tuesday night, so we just we don't know what's going on.
2 weeks away. Not even, right?
That's right. And like we said, bad jokes. We have everybody, or each of us will be introducing one of the numbers. When you complete your number, you will introduce the next number.
Nice.
As
The
I
songs revolve around family and friends.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because it's all themed in with what we went through 2020.
Yeah.
Good.
And 2021.
So July 10th and 11th, 17 and 18, all shows 2 p.m.
Yes.
At Coach House on 12 Augusta Street,
Yep.
correct? In
Yep,
Kingston.
adults $15, children 18 and under $10.
And for tickets, 845-331-2476.
Or www.coachhouseplayers.org.
Thank you so much to Sue
Thank
Regan
you.
and
Thank
Terry
you.
Dwyer
This-
for coming in and seeing us.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Dennis Dwyer.
Where's the IV coffee? This is awful early.
Right.
Thank you so
All right.
much for allowing us to come on and
Thank you for resurrecting this and talk about,
Back to normal.
and unique. I mean, this is super unique for Kingston. This is an identity for Kingston. So Coach House has been doing amazing work all these years, and thank you for your
Another special thing
blood,
about our
sweat, and tears.
community.
Yes,
That's
absolutely. All righty. Thanks. We'll be interested in keeping tabs on you. I'm sure Val will tell us what's going on.
To
Take it
speed
away.
on that.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
Hi, this is Jim Quigley, Supervisor of the Town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
Rondout Savings Bank has a long history of serving local communities and maintaining a strong tradition of customer service excellence while providing each customer with the personal attention they deserve. Rondout Savings' approach to community banking puts you and the growth of your business in the front of everything they do. They're a different kind of bank and would like to tell you why, so please reach out to one of their expert business bankers for an appointment and let them show you what they can do for you. Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you and the community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park. Also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
All right, folks, we're back on the air. This is Thunder Thursday. Flash.
Ba 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 boo.
Flash and boom. That's an homage to Scott Harrington, who was on the air a little bit earlier, 7 o'clock.
So good to see Scott Harrington.
It was.
He always smells so good, too. I always tell him
Smells
that. It's
so
good to smell him. Good to smell him. I always ask him. I always forget what his cologne is because I want to get it from my husband and make him smell like Scott Harrington.
All right, Tim Wiedemann, are you with us?
I am with you guys. Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, man.
How do you smell, Tim?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm sorry I missed being able to smell him. Right? It's kind of a new thing as we get back into in-person stuff. Smelling people.
We got to get you in the studio here, Tim, when maybe next month.
I was just thinking it's probably time for me to make a physical appearance. We'll do that next.
Make the big appearance next month. That'll be in July, right, I think?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And I'll look forward to joining you in the studio.
That would be...
have my face on the interwebs. I was just following you guys on your YouTube channel, so.
I think you came in the studio, our old studio. I recall you being on some show or one show, maybe for a long time ago, about the Williams Lake project. Weren't you not on?
I was maybe there about that, and then rail trails. I remember coming in once and talking about rail trails.
Yeah, that could be
my past life's work, and that was a fun conversation. So it'll be good to be back in the studio.
Yeah. So good. So tell us what's the latest and greatest. I know there's always a lot going on.
Oh, we got to do
birthdays. Tim, just hang on. I'm sorry. We got to just take a quick.
Let us celebrating today here.
I know. I was going to say I missed birthdays.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
We got a lot here.
All right, so let's do that. You can do one. I'll do one.
Okay. Happy birthday. Happy 16th birthday. That's special. 16.
That is. Get
I
to
remember
drive.
16.
Don't you get to drive at 16 still? I think
you do, but you have to have your
6 months of training or something.
Yes, which is funny because that was my parents' rule growing up, and I always thought it did make sense. It's funny because all my friends would just go get their license on their 16th birthday, but I had to wait, and now apparently my parents knew something because it's actually a law now.
Rule of the day.
So you always find out later on that maybe your parents did know something.
All right.
So happy 16th birthday to Emily Fox from Mom and Dad, Abigail and Sam, and Uncle Bill. Happy birthday, Emily.
Okay, please wish a happy birthday to Don Spada from your friends and family, from the Cruz family.
And we're also going to wish happy birthday to Destiny Johnson.
All right, and we have here, please wish a happy birthday on Thursday, June 24th to Jennifer Harvey, again from the Cruz family. The Cruzes are very busy in the birthday world these days. Yes. So the winner of the delicious cow pie from Boyce Dairy Milk House at 62 on Neal Street. Tim, have you ever had a cow pie?
Oh, my gosh, of course I have.
All right, well, the winner for today, June 24th, is, I'm practicing for Saratoga, Destiny Johnson. So, Destiny, you can pick up your cow pie. Congratulations at the Boyce Dairy Milk House at 62 on Neal Street. And here you go. You get a little special ring. And happy birthday to all our previous
good day to have a birthday
announcements. So, okay, Tim, we're back to you, brother. So,
hey, I'm glad to be back, and I'm just going to wish my mom, whose birthday tomorrow is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Mom!
Happy
I don't know
birthday!
If she's listening, but I feel like it was a reminder to check whose birthdays are coming up. Oh yeah, Mom's is tomorrow.
Right, and I have to wish belatedly happy 36th birthday to my son, Lucas. Yeah, Lucas lives in Poughkeepsie and they have a beautiful grandson, Adrian, who's going to be 5 in October, and that's cool. But we had a nice Father's Day and birthday on June 20th. That was, and I probably had one or two many adult beverages that day.
It's okay.
It's allowed. It's Father's
It's allowed, right? We did have a DD for sure. So anyway, back to you, Tim. What's happening?
What's going on in the economic development?
Yeah,
world?
what's the latest?
There's always a lot, and still a lot going on. The things that I wanted to touch on, and then happy to just talk about stuff that you guys are hearing. And it was a pleasure to hear Terry on talking about the Coach House players. Have talked with Terry about how we can try to help her business and so many other small businesses, especially our performing arts businesses, their venues that have struggled through the pandemic and are finally allowed to reopen and are trying to make sure that they can do that safely. There's a program that the state just announced, $800 million statewide for their pandemic small business recovery grant program. So these are grants of up to $50,000, from $5,000 to $50,000, that are available to eligible small and micro-sized businesses. So these are really focused on businesses under 100 employees, which many of our Ulster County businesses fall into that bucket, and also available for-profit independent arts and cultural organizations. And they can use the money for business operating expenses, things like payroll or rent or mortgage payments, taxes, anything that's incurred between, this is kind of backwards looking, so expenses they incurred between March 1st of 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic, and April 1st of this year. And so there's an application process that's pretty streamlined, and it's open now. It's at nysmallbusinessrecovery.com. nysmallbusinessrecovery.com. And, you know, I think really we were really eager to hear for the last round of the PPP, the feds opened it up for sole proprietors. So I know I was a sole proprietor once. I know we have a lot of sole proprietors in Ulster County. And some of the earlier rounds of the PPP, sole proprietors weren't eligible. But this program is designed for sole proprietors. So all you have to do is show your 2019 Schedule C on your tax return, compare it to your 2020 Schedule C, and if you've seen a decrease in your gross revenues on your Schedule C, then you're going to be eligible for this grant. So it's worth checking out.
Great. Are you seeing just a whole bunch of activity now in terms of businesses, you know, pretty much coming out of the pandemic? You know, some of the restrictions pretty much lifted now and almost return to normalcy, or what's your sense of the pulse?
Yeah, I think the restrictions are basically all lifted now, so that's no longer the challenge, but I think there's still challenges left, and we've talked, I think, the last couple of weeks about one of the big ones, which is finding employees, and that continues to be one of the things that I think is holding people back, holding our businesses back from really getting back to normal, is the challenges that they're having finding employees to fill the open positions that they have. And so we talked last month about a program that we're doing in partnership with the Council of Industry, which is our kind of region's manufacturers association. And so I think it's a really exciting opportunity for folks that are looking for work, especially in careers and occupations where the wages start out higher than most other positions, and there's continued opportunity for growth in these companies. And they're desperately seeking workers. So I would encourage folks to go to our Office of Employment and Training, which helps with people who are either on unemployment or having difficulty finding a job. And their website is ulsterworks.com. And on there you can click on Job Seeker, so looking for a job, and you can find this list of manufacturing jobs that are really entry-level jobs, so you don't have to have worked in manufacturing in the past. You know, transferable skills are all the rage these days. So if you've had some experience organizing things in your restaurant job or in your retail job and you're looking to switch out of those occupations, this is an opportunity to get into the manufacturing sector.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we're seeing wage creep up, which I think is good. Certainly some of the businesses are struggling with that, but instead of paying $13 or $14, we're seeing $16, $17, $18, and in some cases $20.
They have to compete with the unemployment. I know
right,
that's
correct.
part of the issue.
Sure. So and I think that's a good thing, and I'm hopeful that those wages stay there, quite frankly. I guess I'm concerned that once the unemployment stops, wages will start, going back down because maybe there'll be more folks in the workplace. So we're encouraging people to get into the workforce now. There's jobs all over the place,
Totally right. I mean, I think that's right. Val, as you said, like the unemployment insurance benefits are scheduled to end beginning of September, so that's coming up pretty quick.
Yep.
It'll be interesting. I would never try to predict how that's going to play out, but it does seem logical to me too that once you see those benefits go away, there's going to be more people entering the workplace.
Yep.
Which, in the simplest version of it, means that employers will be a little less desperate and therefore maybe not as willing to pay such high wages. Mm-hmm. I hope too that that's not true, and I think that maybe that's going to be one of the lasting impacts of this pandemic is kind of, and I know our small businesses in Ulster County want to pay their employees as much as they can. That's not
correct.
There may be big corporations somewhere that we can point the finger at and say don't want to pay people as much as they can. But I know that every business I've talked to in Ulster County, it's not about not wanting to. It's about trying to figure out how they can keep the lights on and deliver their products to their customers and still be able to, afford that $20 per hour wage for their employees.
Yeah.
But I think they're realizing that if they can't get employees, they can't go on.
Right.
And so it becomes the most important thing.
I mean, the
so
restaurant.
hopefully that'll stick around, and quite frankly, it's really hard to live around here on $12, $13 an
No,
hour.
absolutely, Tim.
15,
Absolutely.
16, 17, and it starts to get more reasonable. But if you've got a family to support or taking care of a loved one, $20 is really not that much to be able to live on around here. So.
Correct.
It's not, but the problem becomes, and we were talking about this in our last segment, the problem becomes it's this sliding scale that keeps continuing, because as the wages go up, like I was saying, the groceries are more expensive. So it's like in proportion, these people still don't have any more disposable income. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know I don't know what the answer to that is.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing that I think economists are you could probably read it in the national news that, this fear of coming inflation, and we'll have to see if that's what happens. Then this is going to be a tough recovery. The hope is that some of those upward pressure on prices, is kind of a natural consequence of things adjusting to the post-pandemic world, but that they'll stabilize, and then these higher wages will make it a little bit easier for people to afford their basic needs here and elsewhere in the country. And we will have to see. I think that in the long run, it's if you look back at the historical data about wages, and I think this is especially true for people on the lower wage, lower side of the wage spectrum. 30 years have gone by with relatively little, if any, increase in real wages. And so I think what we're seeing now is kind of, I think, a realignment, a reset on that says, look, we've held down wages for too long, and they really do need to come up just to meet the basic needs. But you're right, Val. I mean, it's a scary thought that might trigger inflation, and we'll just have to watch and see.
The other obstacle that we're seeing is especially for some of our tourist-related businesses, they would get people from Eastern Europe on work visas coming in, working for the summer. The pandemic stopped that.
Right.
So there's a shortage there. If that opens up and more folks can come in from wherever on 3 month, 6 month work visas, that's going to help. But there's just so many people on the sidelines still, it appears to me, because we have like 70 openings. I mean, we've never had 70 openings. Never.
Wow.
I mean, normally we have 10 or 15 jobs that we're working on at any one time. It's just, we're getting calls, 3, 4 a week now from in all sectors, not just construction, finance, you name it, catering. I mean, we've never done catering. We're starting to get some staff for weekend catering for these venues.
Well, you're right. You talk about industry, and again, first world problems, but the nail industry. I went to get my nails done the other day.
Now we're talking.
Now we're really talking. This is a hard time.
Serious.
But
I think there's a real point, I think, there, Val, that especially these direct service jobs.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe this is me, but I can say that I would feel like I need a little bit more comfort about being back face-to-face with people after a year and a half of lockdowns and all this
There's
fear.
still some of that.
I hope that that's the other effect of lifting these restrictions and really, ending the I guess today is the end of the governor's emergency declaration at the state level, which is kind of a big end of the chapter, so to speak, of the pandemic. And hopefully as we really start to get comfortable going back to our daily lives, some of those service sector jobs, people will start to, feel more comfortable going back into them. But I think there will be the challenge of, those are often jobs that didn't pay sustainable wages for the cost of living here. And I know that again, is not because the nail salon or the hotel or the restaurant didn't want to. It's because of the economic pressure that they're under as businesses. I think this is where hopefully some of these supports that have been coming through the PPP, the EIDL, this new Pandemic Small Business Recovery Grant, will help give those businesses a little bit of resources to start to figure out how they operate with a higher wage structure for their employees.
The weird thing about the nail salon, going back to the nail salon, is that it was fine it really has just been the last month.
Really?
Yeah. And so I don't know. And listen, maybe there's just something going on at that particular nail salon.
Right.
But they only had about half the employees that they normally have. And, since they've been open, since they've been allowed to be open, it had been business as usual. And then just over the last few weeks, and I only know that I've only been once, but I've talked to a couple girlfriends who also had, the same issue where they just didn't have the staff. So I found that interesting. I don't know, maybe they found out about unemployment or something, or, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a combination.
Or maybe they found a job somewhere else that was paying higher. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on your nail salon. That may not be true, but I think that's what we're kind of seeing generally is that, again, and this program that we have to try to encourage people into the manufacturing sector, not meant to poach talent from other sectors, which obviously need it too, but a realization that some people are just not going to return to some of those occupations if they have an alternative. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. This is some of the stuff that will continue to turn as we come out of this. We'll have to see where we end up. But
yeah, I mean, it's, the other thing we're seeing is a lot more ability for remote work. And so that means people are not in a face-to-face job. Mm-hmm. They can work remote somehow, way, shape, or form.
And maybe they prefer that rather than being in a service job where they have to be face-to-face.
Correct. Child care is another issue.
Yeah, I was just going to say child care. My wife runs a daycare business in Kingston, and I think I can speak as a partner
firsthand
to her that it's been tough. It's really, working in direct service of any kind is hard, even in normal times. But this last year and a half has really taken its toll on all of our direct service workers, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, that being said, I think we still need to move forward, get through the summer, try to stay optimistic and attract, we still have some great opportunities here in Ulster County for businesses. And we just need to, we can't pull the covers over our head and say, oh, geez,
That's so right.
Right? I mean, so, and because it's just not Ulster County, by the way. I'm sure, Tim, you well know, it's Hudson Valley, it's New York State.
It's everywhere.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it is. And I think that, I've brought us to the doom and gloom part over the last few minutes. Now let's bring us back up that, really it is emerging from this. And I think there's some really exciting opportunities on the horizon. And as you guys probably recall, the county and all of our towns and the city in the latest round of federal stimulus got direct financial support from the feds. This is the American Recovery Plan Act that passed early in the Biden administration. And so we're in receipt of the first round of those funds, and the county executive made an address to the county legislature last week where he really highlighted kind of the basic structure that we're going to use to try to allocate those funds and get those funds out into the community. So this is moving along. We're planning an investment of $6 million in infrastructure, trails, and direct assistance to our municipalities. $5 million for mental health and addiction services, $4 million for housing, $3 million for not-for-profit and community programs, and $6 million for small business and economic recovery. And so those are all kind of making their way through the planning process. We had a bunch of public meetings over the last month and a survey for folks to submit their ideas about how these funds should be used. And now we're taking all that and driving forward with a plan that'll get that money out into the community. So I think more support to come as that all unfolds.
What's a rough timetable for that, Tim, or anything there?
I think we're looking to, so the way that county government works, we propose something and then the legislature has to go through their process to make their refinements and adopt it. And so we're hoping that by August we'll have some of this moving through the legislature, and so late summer this could start hitting the street, so to speak, and these supportive funds could be out to organizations and businesses and individuals sometime around then.
Well, hopefully by September.
I think I'm really proud of the kind of buckets that have been defined here because they really seem to hit the nail on the head that we've got, especially the mental health and addiction services. There's just so much. Not to bring us back down, but there's so much struggling.
It's the reality. We need to talk about that. Yep. Now, I actually, interestingly enough, I was with someone from Pat Ryan's office who was talking about that survey, and he had told me that over and over again, a lot of the feedback on the survey was that people were concerned about public safety.
Yep.
So how is that being addressed? Have we heard anything about how those concerns are going to be addressed with the money?
Yeah, so we heard that too. I mean, I think maybe we're hearing this from the same sources, but ultimately that was one of the comments that came in through the survey and at some of our public meetings. And I think it was kind of evenly split between We need to make more substantial investments in our law enforcement services to make sure that they're equipped for the challenges that they face today. And we also need to address some of the underlying conditions that lead to safety issues in our community. And so I think those are in two different buckets here. Obviously, the mental health and addiction services is an important part of that. But then in the nonprofit and community programs, some of that will be used to help law enforcement organizations and community policing and the kinds of things that I think will address some of those concerns that we heard loud and clear. So yes, that's in here. That's one of the things that we look forward in the conversations with the legislature and finalizing the exact details, how we include that effectively.
And Tim, what's the update with Tech City?
Yeah, exciting to talk about that. I heard Terry mentioning a film last year. So this year we've got a summer series that's a little bit more diversified in terms of the kinds of things going on out in the parking lot on the west side of Tech City. We're working with an organization of artists and musicians in the area called Blueprint Hudson Valley. It's a new organization that's really formed to try to find ways for, in the post-pandemic period, for our artists and musicians to have places to perform at. Obviously, we all know there was too little of that for the last year and a half, and so looking for ways to get back out there and do shows. So each weekend there are events, I think almost every weekend through the end of the fall. You can go to blueprinthv.com, and there is both a form that if you want to do an event in the parking lot, it's open for businesses or organizations that want to hold events. So you can submit your a request and look for dates that are available. And then there's also a calendar on that page, blueprinthv.com, and you can see upcoming events that are scheduled. I think this weekend there are 2 concerts, one on Friday night and one on Saturday night. Outside in the parking lot, there's a stage set up, and the screen that's sometimes used for movies will be used for projections during the shows. 2 weeks ago, we had a show out there on Saturday, and it was a beautiful night and a great time. So hopefully folks will join us out there for this weekend and future weekends throughout the summer.
That's Joe Conqueror, right? Joe Conqueror with Blueprint.
Yeah, Joe is one of the organizers. We've got a team of folks that really are exceptional that includes some of the team from the former Backstage Productions in Uptown Kingston. We've got some other local musicians that are really excited to have an opportunity to perform and to help us help other organizations and musicians and bands and performers get a space to do that this summer. So it's exciting, and it's really just the beginning. You know, there's so much more that we're working on for the west side of the campus, where again the county owns those 2 properties on the far west side of Enterprise Drive, and we've got lots of good plans. More to come on that in the coming weeks and months. We hope to reactivate the buildings later this summer and into the fall, and so we're working on it.
Good. I know festivals are pretty much back. I know Huli and the Italian Festival, Huli for Labor Day, Italian Festival for Columbus Day weekend. O Positive, that's always a good sign when we're getting back.
O Positive's in the summer, right?
O Positive is the same as the Columbus Day weekend.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay.
Yep. They run.
I think I'm thinking of
like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we run the one-day festival on Sunday. So we're working with the city on that, and I know people, I think, are excited to get back to that stuff, right?
Yeah.
After
for sure.
Swing and a miss.
It's a good sign that we're on our way back when we get to do all these great festivals for the summer, and it's just about time. I'm feeling like I need to be out having some evenings of sitting out and listening to music. It's been too long, so.
Yeah, we're getting there, and again, I think there's good reason for optimism. I think the workforce issue will resolve itself.
It has to. It has to work its way out, yeah.
I mean, even when unemployment was at, relative historic lows before the pandemic, 3.2, 3.5%, there were still people around, looking for different jobs or looking to improve their situation. Now you just, just like, and some of the folks that are, quote unquote interested in a job, they just basically say, they submit their application and you never hear from them again, for whatever reason. So, it's super frustrating for my staff, I can tell you that. And, I have to stop them from having adult beverages during the day,
Yeah, I'm sure it's causing a lot of stress.
It is. It really is, because these folks they just want to make matches, They want.
And business owners have, costs that they have to.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. So, overall,
I'll make one last plug here, if I can take a minute or so to
Plug
do it.
away.
We're in the season of the grant application. So for anybody at a business that's been thinking about the state's consolidated funding application, this is the annual cycle that they skipped last year because of the pandemic, but it's back this year. Basically, all of the state agencies and programs, or almost all of them that have grants, those grants are open now, and there's a single application that you can apply for them. And the deadline for that it seems far away, but it'll hit us before we know it. It's July 30th at 4 p.m. sharp. The application window closes. And so we're working here in the Office of Economic Development with a number of businesses and organizations that are working on applications. We're happy to assist if anybody's working on something. They can give us a call. We can provide letters of support, some guidance on how to complete the application. And you can just give us a call. Our number here is 340-3556, 340-3556.
Great. Tim Whitman, Ulster County Director of Economic Development, thank you for all you're doing and your enthusiasm, and just keep pushing and working hard for the taxpayers. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and
Thank you,
keep going.
Glad to be here. Thanks for all that you guys are doing.
Yeah,
It's good
thank
to talk
you.
to you both. Have a good weekend.
We'll see you in the studio next month, brother.
Yeah, see you in the studio.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thanks, Tim.
Bye-bye.
All right, Lawrence, take it away.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Central Hudson reminds you that summer thunderstorms can strike with strong, gusty winds, knocking down trees and power lines. If you see a downed power line, call 911 immediately to report it. Power lines can carry an electric current strong enough to cause injury or death. Stay at least 30 feet away from a fallen line. Don't try to move it or anything that has come in contact with it. And never drive over a power line. Remember, your safety matters.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His parents could only hope that one day he would leave the hospital healthy, and they would all live happily ever after. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year. You can help the March of Dimes stop premature birth and bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Plannings. Okay, folks, we're back. This is Thunder Thursday. Flash. Flash and boom. Okay, here's our Scott Harrington deal.
Harrington's big
boom. Yeah,
that was cool when he did that this morning.
Right. Yeah. So we're joined by Ulster Federal Credit Union's great representatives, Maria Hoban, that I know, and Christine Plennings. Correct?
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
great. So tell us.
Is it Mid Hudson Federal?
No.
It's
Ulster Federal Credit Union.
Okay.
Ulster, yeah. Yep. It's funny. I just saw one of your trustees or board of directors folks who a fellow I worked with for many years at Kingston Hospital yesterday, Dennis Pitcock.
Yes.
Who was out in
And
front of
long
Norman
time,
Staffing yesterday.
long time
yeah,
with
he's
us.
been there a long
Long
time.
time.
And so hopefully he and I are going to try to grab some lunch next week.
Good.
So yeah. So tell us both what you do at the credit union and what's going on. What's the pulse? What's the pulse of the credit union these days, Maria?
Okay, so I'm assistant branch manager at our Schwenk Drive branch for many, many years. And one thing we have that we've just got board approved is our hours are going to be changing August 1st.
Nice.
We're dropping our extended hours, actually,
Okay.
Thursday and Friday, just with digital services,
Right.
remote deposits, ATMs, there's just,
Yeah.
our hours, there's not foot traffic, nope.
Yeah.
And with the pandemic,
Yeah.
people realized everything that you could do without coming in,
Right.
inside the branch,
Switch,
and, I
right.
mean, they enjoy seeing us, of course.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. And-
so I mean, it's bittersweet, I guess. It's
Right.
kind of like, is that good or not? But all the financial institutions, we're just conforming with all the
What's
rest.
going on? Yeah. So what are
it's
your
just,
hours changing?
We
to?
are 8 to 5. Right now, we're 8 to 5 Monday through Wednesday drive-through, 8:30 to 4:30 lobby, and we're just going to go across the board with that Monday through Friday. So
Saturday hours?
8:30 to 4:30 in the lobby, and 8 to 5 on the drive-through,
Okay.
and Saturday 8 to 1,
Okay,
or 9 to 8:30 to
Those
1,
are
right?
still good
8:30 to 1.
hours. Those are
They're good
still
hours,
good
yeah.
hours. But I mean, obviously, from an employment standpoint, from employee, that's less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more productivity, in my
Right.
opinion. We have people that stagger hours, in order to work it. You're working Saturday, so we need to have you come in a little later this day or earlier this day. So it'll be a good. It's a good thing,
And that's
and
for
it's
the-
more stable.
Yeah.
What are you open today? Always open the same.
Right.
So
And the Ulster Avenue branch the same way?
Ulster Avenue and Saugerties branch.
And Saugerties branch.
Yep.
So you have
Okay.
three locations, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Christine, what do you do at the bank?
I'm the lending manager. I'm
Okay.
in charge of the lending staff. We handle all the loans that come in. We underwrite and disperse them. We don't have a company that handles any of that for us.
Right.
It's all
you do
us
it all
doing all.
internally.
Yeah.
That's kind of good
Are
and
you
personal.
at the Schwenk Drive
I'm
branch?
at the Swank Drive branch.
Okay.
Yes, all our lending officers are there, but member service reps are all capable of helping at all the branches.
Right,
For
right.
dispersing loans and taking care of our members, and we're just a phone call away.
So still a lot of activity, maybe refinancing or even some new residential
Yes, our-
mortgages or
Our
lines of
home
credit.
equity, line of credits, and home equity fixed have
Going
really.
bonkers, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that our title company has a little bit of a back delay because of how crazy it is in Ulster County right now.
Yeah, it's just.
Do you find, are there a lot of, your customers, do you have a lot of, I know there's this influx of people from the city. Do you find a lot of the people that are coming to you, your customers for loans, are they
We've gotten
new
a
people
couple
to the
phone
area?
calls from people moving up, asking about getting mortgages in the area. A couple from California, some from the city. So yeah, we are definitely getting people moving up here.
Okay, interesting. Because I know a lot of them too. A lot of the people that come up from the city a lot of it's cash offers. That's why I was interested to see if the bank is getting any.
And the
of the business.
difficult, I say, part with the credit union is you have to remember we're seg-based. We're demographically based. I guess we
Correct.
are
Not like the
because
Bank
it's
of America.
yeah. You need to work, worship, attend school, or live in Ulster County. So when they're coming up from the Bronx,
Yeah.
we need something that tells us your residence is here
Yeah.
in order for us to. So that's where there's just that little glitch.
Okay.
As
But if
far
they're
as
buying a new
membership.
home up here,
Then they
that
do
would
And that qualifies, yep,
Sure,
yep,
sure.
because you have all that paperwork.
And look, it's good. I mean, I've heard some horror stories where, some of these folks are getting, like, I'll say, for lack of a better term, internet mortgages,
Well, I want to interject really
Yeah, go
quick.
ahead.
I want to tell you, I really appreciate this conversation
Yeah.
because as somebody who my identity was just stolen and somebody
Oh.
opened an account. Well, yeah, I have LifeLock. I found out right
Oh.
away. But somebody opened a bank account
Holy crow.
in my name over the internet, and it's a
Wow.
U.S. bank. I mean, I'm going to throw them, well, maybe I won't throw them under the bus, but BMO Harris.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
It's like, and you know, so I really appreciate that hometown bank because I mean, and it took more time for me to close hours, 3 phone calls with LifeLock to close it. And I said it was easier for this person who's not Val Dwyer to open an account than it is for the real person to close the account, which had no money in it. I mean,
right.
But anyway, so I appreciate
Well, it's just the wonder of what is their plan?
Right.
What was the plan for opening
yeah.
the account?
I think it's this because I know somebody else who it happened. They you open an account and then they
unemployment.
Yeah, you get direct deposit.
Oh, no
and
kidding.
Then yeah. It's a way to hold.
Unemployment
And then they shut the but I didn't want so nobody really probably wouldn't affect my credit. But we're getting off topic. It probably wouldn't have affected my credit. But
Well, not completely off topic though,
yeah.
because it's a major situation going on right now. Unemployment scam and fraud
Sister
has
got
been
a call for unemployment
crazy.
Yeah, and she hasn't worked in a couple of years, and she's like, "No, I didn't file for unemployment."
Yeah,
and then she had a national bank Click, I think it's called, online send her account cards and everything like that. So then they wanted her to send her ID to close it, and she's like, "I don't even know if this is legit."
Right.
Yeah, the scammers are like
tough.
rampant out there.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
I personally locked my Social Security number.
I did too. I went and I locked my credit score. So now if I go for, I have to.
You have to unlock it and.
But and this was a few years back now. I said, well, this was when Sears was open, I think. I try to set up a credit card, instant credit card at Sears. They said, no, you can't. I forgot I had locked everything.
Well, that happened to me.
Did it at Best Buy.
That happened to me at TJ. I'm like, TJ Maxx. I'm like, oh, yeah. I was buying furniture. And I was like, save the 10%.
Well, that's it. You lock it saying, I don't need credit anymore. I've got all I need. I'm not going to. Then you get someplace and they say, oh, if you open a card, 15% off. Well, I'm buying a computer, okay. And then they go, yeah, you can't.
You can't, yeah.
Oh, I'll be back tomorrow because I don't remember passwords.
I do feel as though with this, like you said, I feel all this identity theft and everything has been heightened.
Yes, definitely.
And I do feel as though, it's happened a lot during the pandemic. And I think what's happened is with people working from home a lot, these hackers have seen a vulnerability that because people are logging in from home, so security maybe isn't as tight.
Right, correct.
And they see this, opportunity to kind of step in and steal.
And the phone calls. I mean, the older people, and it's not all older people, but just what you're just so afraid. And I have young kids, and I'm on them all the time.
I had a
Don't
older
answer the
member
call. Don't say anything. Don't do anything.
She called and she was looking for a loan. She's like, I need a loan just for a couple days. I'll pay it back at the end of the month. And I'm like, what do you
Who
need?
needs a loan?
Call your mom.
But she tells me, my grandson, he's a good kid and he's in jail right now.
Oh, Lord.
I said, did you talk to him? She's like, he was in a DWI. It wasn't his fault, but he's in jail and he got his nose busted up. I'm like, but you talked to him, right? And she's like, yeah, I did. He was crying. I'm like, okay, you can come in. We'll do the paperwork. But in the meantime, before you come, please try to reach out to your family. And she calls back a little later saying that she's not coming. It was a scam.
The whole setup.
Yeah.
It's sad.
And it is
It's
sad.
really sad.
Well, the reason why I know it's a scam is because who are they throwing in jail anymore? With
I
bail
know, nobody.
reform? It's definitely a
Get an
scam.
appearance ticket.
Right.
Appearance ticket.
Yeah. Come back later.
Oh, but I need the money anyway.
Good response.
Yeah. But look, it's all the more reason to work with, a local financial institution like the Ulster Federal Credit, and you establish relationships and
hometown banking.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
really do.
It's really,
I mean, I've watched people go
so
from teaching to retirement to calling now that they're 85 years old. They've watched, they've watched us get married, have children, do everything.
Seen their whole family.
Yeah, it's and you've been here how long now?
Going on 10 years.
Wow. Are you local, Christine?
Yes.
Kingston based? Kingston born and raised? Cool.
Yes, I am.
Nice.
Kingston
George
High?
Washington.
All right, you did the whole deal.
Bailey.
Nice.
Good.
Good job.
Good.
Yeah. So so generally things are going well. I mean, overall, for it's the pandemic notwithstanding. the credit union's doing well financially, and
We're holding it. We're holding it.
That's good. Bill Corby's does a great job. He's, your relatively new CEO. It's been a couple of years now. How long has Rick been gone? I feel like
Two?
Two?
Just this year.
It'll be 3
It'll be going-
December, maybe 3 in December.
Yeah, throw
It's
him
hard
to the
because we got
fire.
Yeah,
2019. Yeah, Rick left 2019 because we
Rick knew
made
the
changes
pandemic was
and
coming.
He was
did.
yeah, people moved to different branches, and all of a sudden,
They probably
yeah, it was
called him
nice seeing
from,
you. I'll see you in
Wuhan,
September.
China, and said, Rick, we're going to do this little thing here.
I asked him if
Time to
he knew
retire.
something. I said, "Come on, come on."
So here's what I
Great
think
guy.
is a fun fact. You guys may not
Yeah.
think it's a fun fact, but Bill, I believe he lives up in the
Yeah,
cliffs.
Schenectady,
Gilderland,
yeah.
someplace.
So Bill's son and I, Brandon, worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers together in Albany.
Oh, wow.
Isn't it a small world?
Yeah, it's a small world, and we were really good. I mean, we obviously we're both married and have kids, and this was before, but we were really, we were
Yeah.
together every day, working 60 hours a week, and so when you had first asked me
Bill.
to be a host
Yeah.
on this show, and Bill was supposed to be one of our first
guests,
guests, and then it didn't happen. But
Right.
I reached out to Brandon. I said, I got asked to be a co-host, and you're never going to believe who my first guest is. It's your dad. So, and then when I opened the door, I thought he was going to be sitting
Yeah.
out there today, and I was like, well, that's not Bill.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's funny. So that's a little fun.
That
fact
is a
about
good.
Bill.
It is a
that
fun
good.
fact.
Yeah.
So tell us. So what are people? And I think we may have talked about this off the air. I forget what we
Yeah,
talked about
yeah,
off
yeah,
the air,
yeah.
on the air. But
Just don't fall asleep.
Yeah, I had a nightmare last night. I fell asleep in the middle of our show, and I woke up and they were gone and mad at me. I don't know why.
Sleeping on air.
Yeah, sleeping on the job. So tell us what are people, when people come in for home equity line of credit, right? Because the rates are low, and we saw this a few years ago when the rates were low and everybody was coming in and kind of taking out money on their house, and then unfortunately that ended in a bad place. But what are people coming in to do that, and what kind of things are they spending their money on?
Home improvements. We had somebody looking at solar panels.
Okay.
Redoing his
Interesting.
home.
Roof, air conditioning, whatever.
Yes, it's a lot of home improvements. I think
improvements.
everybody who was
Kitchen.
stuck in their home
Right.
all last year
Realized what
Found
it
all the
needed.
a lot of
faults.
stuff they needed to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Okay.
home improvements for sure.
Yeah, and the other side of that coin is, finding a contractor
To do it.
to do it, because they're all busy as all get out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
again, we get back to the employment situation, as these companies are looking for carpenters, labor, they're looking for folks, skilled
Hands-on,
laborers that
yeah,
can do some
hands-on
stuff.
work.
The demand is so high.
It is. It is.
And
I hope that starts to come back, though, in teaching in the schools with, BOCES is
Trades.
a phenomenal,
I cannot agree more.
Yeah, I tried to talk my daughter, but she doesn't want to be a welder. She doesn't want to be an automotive
Yeah.
person. She, it just,
Make a
because
good
there's
living.
just, and there's so many opportunities there.
And not everybody is going to go to a 4-year college.
Everyone doesn't need to go to a 4-year college.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the other thing.
dad's a BOCES
I could keep going on that.
Yeah.
You don't want to get me going on
pretty
that
soon,
one with the
plumbers,
degree stuff.
carpenters, electricians, going to cost more than doctors.
Right.
Right? Because you won't find them. You can't find them, so okay.
find them.
It'll be $500 an hour. What?
Yeah, talk about demand. And here's another, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but talking about the demand, and we were talking earlier on our show about kind of some of the post-pandemic quirky things that have been happening. I didn't know until I went to book. We're going out to Yellowstone and everything this summer with the kids. I didn't know the rental car crisis.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
All the rental car companies sold their cars,
Expensive.
and now
Right.
everybody wants to vacation, and it's like
crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, there's supposedly a car shortage.
Yes,
Yeah,
chips.
yes.
There's
We were
that-
just up at Bob Siracusano's place yesterday, Sawyer Motors, and can't get new cars. Can't get new cars.
And used cars
chips, right,
values
Lawrence?
have gone way up as well.
Yeah, I wanted to buy one yesterday.
He was in there saying,
We were at Sawyer Motors yesterday. He's like, try me what?
Couple months. He said couple
He said you'll
months.
have them in a couple months. Those ones are gone already.
Yeah.
Because if people want to buy, he goes,
Yeah.
you'll probably be better off.
November.
Yeah, November, December. I was like, oh.
Now, is that
Crazy.
because have the factories been shut down because of COVID cases and they've got
No,
backlogs?
the
or
chips
just-
from China, right, are the ones that need to go. It's like
think so.
your system that operates in the, when you hit your button
Supply
for,
chain
your nav,
issues.
the nav system in your car, that
Yeah.
has a chip in it.
Yeah,
You know,
supply chain.
The chip
so-
where you unlock your,
Right.
that has a chip in it too. Yeah, there's like 8 chips in all cars.
Well, well,
I say go back to a
maybe we
key
should-
personally, but
or maybe we
guess
should
I'm old
start-
school.
Right. Well, yeah,
Maybe
what
we
about
should
the
start
standard
making
cars?
those chips in
Exactly.
America, but unfortunately, we got other jobs we can't fill, so we gotta. But that would be something we have to become more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Because
It's just
problem-
changing times for
problematic.
right now. I don't know, labor-wise for you all. I'm
Yeah,
sure
what's that
you're
look
pretty
like?
Stable, I would guess, right? The credit unions.
Yeah, and remember, we're
labor-wise.
30 employees.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
No,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
know if we've hit 30. We
Yeah.
hit 30 at
People
this
just
point.
stay where life
Very,
is.
yeah, we have
Yeah.
people that have been there for years.
Like Maria.
And, yeah, for years.
We won't
years
say how
and
long,
years
Maria,
and
don't
years. No,
we
because
want to think it might be from high school,
Yeah,
right?
it is. It actually is from high school. Oh my gosh.
That's a sign of good employment.
You don't see that a lot, but we do. It's a great place to work, though.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. Very
Yeah.
family. I
They were
say
great
all
to
the
us during
time.
The pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, and I always say it. I will miss when I retire. Someday I will miss the people. I will miss the people. I mean, I love my job, but the people are just,
Yeah.
you know.
Special.
It's like talking to your sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You spend a third of your life.
Some
there,
of them
so-
feel like they're talking to their mother, but that's okay.
That is true. Maria is definitely my
Big
work
happy
mother.
family.
Yeah. How are Olivia and Andrew doing? What's
They are
up with
doing
them?
good. Olivia's at ShopRite, getting ready to work in the cake part, which she's always loved decorating and doing cakes. So she's working on that and working towards just an associate's degree.
Yeah, good.
Andrew's taken some classes
Just as good.
and trying to figure out what road he's gonna take
Yeah.
now
I mean, the
because
theater
music
business
has just
kinda
kind
shut
of
down, right?
Yep.
I mean, a whole
But for
opera
him,
theater's-
it was okay because it gave him that opportunity to
break.
reach out to his medical
Yeah.
mind that
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
got
yeah.
going in his head too. So,
Good,
so it's all good. It's all good.
Well, tell him the Italian festival's going to be on this year, so we
That's
expect him to
exciting.
sing.
He
you
will
know.
be there.
We'll get Olivia up there too, and
Good.
that would be great. Kind of getting back to a little bit of,
Normalcy.
we need routine, right? Humans like routine and predictability, pretty much, right? This has been
everything
like
back.
everybody's been like, what's coming next?
I know.
Right? Don't you have that feeling like, is there another shoe going to drop on this whole thing? It's just
Yeah,
a weird
that's
vibe out
lingering.
there, right?
Yeah, I just feel very unsettled.
Yeah.
Still.
I just
Like,
feel
are
very
we going to go
unsettled.
backwards?
Yeah.
Are they going to start
Yeah.
closing? I really hope
Something
not.
going to happen that they're going to, I said this to my daughter, I said, enjoy this moment because
Who
I
knows?
don't know.
Everybody's
I just
weirded
don't
out.
know until they really,
Now the variant, they're talking
That's
about the variant.
exactly
Come
it.
on.
yep.
Well, you'll find me in Tennessee or Florida if this comes.
Right, I know,
I'm
I
not,
know.
I'm
I'll
not
tell
writing
you,
this out in New York.
Yeah.
If you ever want me to sell you, Tennessee is my dream.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
my dream.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing. It really is. If I could leave tomorrow, I would.
Really,
be
in
gone
Tennessee?
I would. I
We're
would.
actually going there in November. I've
It
never
is
been.
just It's you going to the east.
We're going to Nashville.
Okay. Okay. We haven't gone out that far. We've gone into the East Coast because we've
What's
done
good about
Dollywood
it
and Pigeon Forge, which is very Myrtle Beachy, but then drove all around. It's just the atmosphere, the ambiance is just the pleasantry.
Okay.
I guess is what. Not that I want to say New York isn't pleasant, but when you say good morning and somebody actually either responds or they're the first one to say good morning without thinking you're saying it for a reason,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just and cost factor. I mean,
Yeah.
cost factor is unbelievable compared to here. I mean,
Long time ago, right, a guy named Ross Perot, right?
Yes.
The
Yes,
third
Ross
party
Perot.
guy. He said there's going to be a giant sucking sound right out of the United States into Mexico, and this is what's happening in New York State now. People are saying, "Oh man, I'm out," And I never thought about. I mean, I said, you know what, I'll be here until I go in the ground. But now I'm starting to have some second thoughts about that. I really am
It's a hard.
because
Yeah, it's hard though.
For the
Roots
New
here.
Yorkers
it is
who are
hard
going up
because you
here.
do. You have
Right,
your
right.
roots,
New Yorkers
but
leave New York City,
and that's
and
the
then
other
they-
thing. Let them
This
come
area
up
or just
to
leaving
live
the
our
city.
way,
Right.
or they want to come up and change it to their way. Well, if that's what you want to do, stay where
I'll
you
say
were.
it again.
Yeah, we talked about
Don't
it.
Brooklyn my Kingston.
By the way, it's happening. I hate to tell you that.
Yeah.
It's happening, So hopefully the folks that do move in here will figure out that it's all about community. It's all about helping each other. It's all about we're kind of in this as a together
This
type
is our
of.
MO,
This is
yeah.
what we do,
This is
you
what
know.
we do,
And if you want to stay to yourself or just do your little thing in your little patch of ground, stay in Brooklyn or Bronx or wherever. Stay metropolitan area.
And because there's no doubt, it is a beautiful area to come to.
absolutely.
I mean, we take so much for granted with with the Catskill
Boating
Mountains and
and
Hudson Valley and the
hiking and
river.
camping.
Yeah,
Skiing.
yeah,
all
it
the-
really is. There's
Talking
no
to
question.
Tim Wiedemann earlier about the rail trail system. We didn't talk much about it, but it's so prolific around here. I mean, you can go anywhere. I can't remember. Leanne and I just found one that we just hadn't seen or thought about, and it's only a couple miles, 2 or 3 miles, but I think it's in Esopus, down by the water, off the Rondout Creek there. I never knew that existed.
Yeah, I got to get it because somebody was telling me about the one over East Kingston too.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah. So it's
really nice.
It's all good stuff. So the credit union, next 6 months left in the
Oh,
year.
yeah, we're here to talk about the credit union.
We
By the way,
forget.
thank you for supporting Kingston Community Radio. We
Yes,
sincerely
thank
appreciate
you.
it as underwriters. It's very important that we
Another
keep.
special thing about community banking, they support
Absolutely.
the
Community
community.
Radio. Yeah, this is important. We're going to have our Happy Christmas Fund on November 4th, and I know you all will be represented on that. I think we have Bill's name, but he can bring whoever he wants. Going to be at our friends at Boyce Milk House, and we're also going to, part of this year is going to be a fundraiser for KCR in addition to Happy Christmas Fund, because no KCR, no Happy Christmas Fund.
Right.
That's how it goes, So we're trying to connect those two and have a bigger fundraising effort this year, so we can keep our lights on,
We do fundraiser every year for a select group, and this year we chose Ryan.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yep.
That is, I'm heavily involved
Yeah,
with
I was so
Ryan.
excited to
right?
see Carol them get the building
Yes,
that they just got.
yes.
She
We
has
had them on our
really.
show.
Vince talked about
Yeah,
that.
she
Yeah,
has
we had them on our
really,
show much
she has
ago.
really
There.
gone full force, and
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So we have a grill, a dad's grill with, oh my gosh, so many fixings for $5 a ticket.
Wow.
And
And
a
a
50-50
yep.
as well.
And the raffle goes off on.
July 1st.
Okay, and how do
So
people
stop
get
on
tickets?
by and get a
You go
ticket.
into
Yep.
Any branch you can go into?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Schwenk
Yeah.
Drive
go to
has
the
the
drive-through.
Schwenk Drive has the grill out in the lobby with, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff to go with this grill, and but they all have pictures at the other branches to see,
Great.
and it's on
Good.
our Facebook page, and yeah, it's
Been doing it
it's
since March, and we've raised over 1,000 just on the
That's
grill
great.
alone.
Wow.
And then the 50-50 as of yesterday was at almost 500.
Wow. That's a
Good.
good deal.
Yeah.
That's great. So yeah, so
Great
stop
cause.
by and buy
Last
some
week.
tickets.
Proceeds are going to Ryan.
to Ryan.
Ryan.
Yep.
To the,
Good. I know they can
Get
use
in the tickets now.
because they have the house, but there's a lot of renovations that need to be done inside. So I know they could really use that money. So that's
Yeah,
great.
and
It'll go to-
it really is
Great cause.
it's a phenomenal program. It's needed,
Yes.
desperately needed.
Yes, it is. In our last segment, we had Tim Wiederman on the phone from Ulster County Economic Development, and he was talking how the county was giving, I think it was $8 million to addiction and mental health services out of the money that we got from the
Flowed
federal
from the-
government.
right.
So
Okay.
that was good to hear.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
good to hear. I know when COVID was really bad, in my age group, I heard of more people overdosing than dying of
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah, that's true,
Yeah.
Christine.
So it's
And a
Yeah.
lot of
definitely
them
sad.
you don't even
Yep.
hear about.
You don't hear
too.
about. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've lost a lot.
Yeah, the stress that has been created by this, on layered over top of normally stress, that we have, whether it's work or home or this or that or just existing, and if once you drop the COVID stress on it, people just break.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
they
and
just can't
especially
take it.
with the overdose, the that particular type of drugs is people things that they take for depression.
Right.
And so, that's how it starts with the pain pills, and then
Yeah.
it goes to the heroin, and then the heroin is laced with the fentanyl, and they don't
Yeah.
know it, and then that's how that all
Just
plays out. So the
spirals
depression, when
out.
you have a community that's very high in depression, it's just unfortunately a natural.
So
So
they'll
give
be
us some-
getting from us. We
Good.
it's
Give some info about, contact info about credit union,
Yes,
locations.
branch locations.
How people get in touch. Branch location?
You want to do that?
Yeah.
We're on Facebook. We're on
Okay.
Instagram. We're upping our presence there. So
Yay.
if you want to
Good.
find our hours, our locations, it's all there.
Okay.
We are at 127 Swank Drive for this main branch.
Right.
We have our Saugerties branch on Ulster Avenue.
And Saugerties branch. The Saugerties right off of 9W?
Saugerties is
The
right in
Simmons
the
Plaza.
Simmons Plaza.
Great.
Yep.
I think it was a bank many moons ago.
I think it was actually Fleet Bank.
Yes.
Because
I
I
think
worked.
you are. I was
worked
gonna
for
say-
Fleet Bank.
yeah.
I was a.
Rondout
floater
National
and all the
and-
branches, and I was at that branch.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yep.
So that's good. So Ulster Federal Credit Union, it's a hometown, homegrown credit union, started way back when.
And
It's
very
a teachers
comfortable.
union.
Very comfortable.
So it's
I mean,
kind
that's
of
what-
like going to your families that you like, the family that you like.
Yeah.
If you,
And it's great to see everybody back in the lobbies now.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
So, Christine Plennings, thank you. Maria Hoban, thank
pleasure.
you for being on with us. Thank you for supporting KCR.
Yes,
Good luck,
thank
and
you.
we'll see you again. Say hi to Bill Corby.
We will.
And
Tell Bill to tell Brandon that I said hello,
Said
his
hi.
son.
Okay.
So everybody, be kind to each other. Go out and do a random act of kindness for somebody that they don't expect.
Yes. Be kind.
Just do that. If somebody in back of you,
Be kind. Say good morning.
Yeah,
Be like
yeah.
a Tennessee. Tennessee.
That's right.
What are you?
Right,
I don't know what you are.
Tennesseer.
Yep. Everybody have a great weekend. Be well, be safe.
Enjoy
Lawrence,
the weather.
Thank you. Thanks, folks. Great.